Welcome to Monday's meditation. Before I start today's talk and meditation, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notifications so that you're told on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays for various meditations and teachings. Have a look at the description below for various goodies, claiming your free energized painting. You can book yourself a free discovery call with me, and much, much more. So I was thinking about the current times that everybody's going through, with various transits astrologically happening, as well as whatever's happening in the world as we know now. And many people I've been speaking to are just bombarded with the external realities of what's being portrayed in the news and everything else that's going on. So before I start the meditation today, I'd like to do a little teaching of how to break free from any negative thoughts instantly, because it's sometimes very easy just to get caught up in this whole roller coaster wave of loop of negative thoughts happening around us. And this can be from the external reality and from our inner negative self-talk. And then you start to judge and project onto others what's going on within the self of worry, fear, doubt, and all sorts of negative realities that seem to pop up. And it's very easy to fall into this low vibrational place and feel that we're just on this internal loop of not being able to really escape the feelings and the emotions that come up through the thoughts. Our minds do like to take over and make us feel as if we've lost control, almost like a wave that takes over. And the more we start to focus on negative thoughts, the longer we stay in these thought patterns, the more we lower our vibrational frequency, and it becomes a loop-de-loop of getting lower and lower and lower in our vibrational frequency and energy. And if you didn't already know, your personal vibration is the number one thing that dictates what you actually manifest in your life. As within, so without. Inside out first is key. And so it makes sense that when we get stuck onto these low vibrational places of focusing on what we do not want, we do tend to manifest even more things in alignment with that particular energy. Basically, more of what you do not want, because what you feed manifests. If you want to learn more about how you can raise your own personal vibration to manifest a life you love, you have to find yourself sometimes in that loop of bad vibes from time to time, so that you know what you do not want. So I will go now into sharing a simple solution that can not only help you to feel better, but also change your reality, change your future. And I've been using this very simple yet magical tool to help me immediately switch out of any negative self-thoughts into positive ones in an instant, ones that can make you feel good and raise your vibrational frequency instantly. And this is like plugging into an energy amplifier. It is a tool that instantly helps you to shut down the negative thoughts, to start to feel better and raise your personal vibration. And this is the key to manifesting a life that you love. So this magical technique is called thought swapping. You can either say an affirmation, use a tool, say a mantra to change how you're feeling. Whether you've heard of affirmations or not, this is a little different than reading off a list of the so-called positive affirmations. And here is how you practice this technique. When you find yourself stuck in a negative thought loop that you want to break free of, I want you to say a positive affirmation out loudly and immediately swap your focus and your thought pattern. The affirmation that you say should equal the exact opposite of the theme of your negative thought pattern. So when you speak this affirmation out loudly, you're pulling the energy back on over your active mind and throwing that energy off its course. You're basically breaking the loop of negativity and forcing your thoughts to go in another direction. A direction that aligns with the person you want or you intend to become and the life you want to create. With this instant change in your thought and your focus, you will notice that you begin to feel better instantly because of what you're telling yourself. And this is simply because your thoughts are one of the main things that really create how you feel. Thought stimulates an emotion. An emotion creates a feeling. A feeling creates energy waves that create your reality. So when you're using this thought swapping technique, you're simply breaking the cycle of feeling bad and reaching for a better feeling, which is then creating higher vibrational, emotional waves of energy, which then change your reality. And you may even begin to see almost instantaneously manifestations showing up as a result of this change in your energy. So examples of thought swapping via affirmation is, if you're worrying if you'll have, say, enough money today to pay a certain bill, stop your lack mindset in its tracks and declare an affirmation like, I have more than enough money. The universe always provides for me. My world is looking after me. I am being taken care of. All is well in my world. Just for today, I have enough. As a result, you will begin to feel better. You will reach for a higher vibration because of this change in energy, and you will be taken care of and may discover money coming and falling onto your lap from any unexpected source. If you're feeling unhappy with yourself, of how you look, for example, stop that negative self-talk immediately and say an affirmation, I love myself just the way I am. I am beautiful. I love and accept myself. I am enough. And as a result, you will begin to feel better and will easily find more things to love about yourself. Start looking at parts of your body and love them up. You may also manifest things in alignment with your efforts to change your vibration, like receiving random compliments and seeing actually positive changes in your appearance. Change your self-talk to change your reality. If you're stuck in a thought loop of focusing on things like, oh, I'll never be successful, oh, this is so hard, stop it. Your mind is lying to you. Simply override that negative self-talk with a positive affirmation. I am capable of success. Success is my birthright. I can be, do, and have anything I put my mind to. My world is looking after me. All is well in my world. As a result, you will notice that you begin to start to feel more empowered. You start a new train of thought, one that aligns with your highest version of you and the life that you wish to create for yourself. Simply go on repeating this process. And if after practicing this thought swapping technique you still feel a bit off and your thoughts still feel out of alignment, do not give up. Keep going. In the knowing that you are not your mind, you are not your thoughts, you are the light behind your mind. You are the observer of your thoughts, just like clouds passing in the sky. You are the sky. You are not those clouds. You are not your thoughts and emotions. You're much bigger than that. And so I want you to observe this inner chatterbox that's going on in your head and realize and know that the negative things and thoughts are not the truth. Keep affirming positive things to yourself and keep doing your best to focus your thoughts and your energy only on the good that you wish to receive in your life. You and only you hold the power within you to change the course of your life in any, each and one moment. Meditation is a great tool for learning to keep your overactive mind and unwanted thoughts at bay. Just simply try adding 5 to 10 minutes of a daily meditation into your morning ritual. Even when you're jumping into the shower in the morning, imagine the water coming over you like golden light sweeping all over your body, and you can then use those 10 minutes in the shower to say magical affirmations to yourself. Lastly, each time your mind falls back into focusing on things that you do not want, just swap your thoughts immediately by saying the affirmations out loud. Feel them, witness the shift in energy when you do so. For more information, for more affirmations, for very specialized sacred mantras, please do book yourself a discovery call with me where I can talk to you about your specific needs, and I can create a program of coaching and mentoring just personalized for you. The link is below in my description. The second half of this talk is really into me telling you about what meditation is and what I have learnt from my guru and my guru's guru, called a Parampara Guru, during my life. Meditation is to simply mentally bring into focus all of your sensory and motor organs in order to completely visualize, feel, and experience something that is pleasant, an object that is pleasant and pleasing to the self. Now, this particular object could be absolutely anything. But since the mind does tend to focus on things that it's interested in, and interesting things happen to be more pleasant than non-interesting things, consequently, pleasant objects are recommended for meditation. You can look at one of my yantras when you're meditating. You can also look at the free energized painting that you can download from the description below. as you're meditating, as well as commission me to do various pieces of artwork for you, or I have various prints that you can have a look on my Instagram, and various paintings of energized artwork and specialized yantras that you can use with certain mantras and affirmations as you're meditating. It does help greatly if the object of meditation happens to also be in a living form. For example, when you go out for a walk in nature, just to simply look at a flower, or to look at a lake flowing, looking at gardens, or looking up in the air and looking at the clouds, looking at waves by the ocean. Meditation is simply an interaction with some sort of a living object. And you start to begin on a journey of a silent, peaceful communication with that living object. And this is the main aim of the meditation. Stages in meditation are simply 4 basic stages, which are named in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. The first stage is the withdrawal stage. So you're basically withdrawing from the external world. Then you're holding on to your vision. This is in Indian, it is called the Dharana. You're holding on to the Dharana. Then you get to the stage, the third stage, which is an unbroken, easy flow of awareness, which is known as Dhyana. And then you eventually lead to the internal stage of unification, the union, the sacred union, or often known as Samadhi. So let's consider each of these stages as taught to me by my Guruji. The first stage, withdrawal. The state of your mind or of a person about to start a meditation is usually flitting forms from the external to the internal, one to the other, often in a disorderly and incoherent manner, because you're receiving various sensory inputs coming from your environment, triggering random impulses leading to different trains of thought. So you just can't settle down. The mind has to simply withdraw from this external stimuli, and this is when it helps to just close your eyes. The mind has also to become prepared, to become totally aware and working with its fullest potential, so that the creative visualization that you're going to create internally as the meditation can indeed happen. The mind usually has a tendency to move away from the object of its concentration. And this is when you're moving away from something. This is in physics or in quantum physics known as the centrifugal tendency. We use this faculty of the mind initially to throw away any external sensory stimuli coming from the environment. As I mentioned, we close our eyes. Then we start to listen to the sounds around us and the sounds within us, inside and outside. We also try to feel different parts of our body successively, beginning from our feet, going all the way up to our crown at the top of our head. This way, we're simply relaxing the entire body from its feelings of stresses and strains. And apart from relaxation, there are other very good reasons for going over the different parts of our body. The main reason is that the different parts of the body are simply mapped out into different parts of our brain. Therefore, touching different parts of the body is actually equivalent to energizing and even accessing different parts of our brain. And so the simple act of feeling the body results in making the brain fully aware and totally relaxed, getting ready for meditation. And this process should not be hurried. It takes a few minutes to get into this state. And there is one more important step in this withdrawal process, which simply consists of creating a mood of tranquility, peace, and power. And this mood can simply be easily created by a few positive assertions, affirmations like I spoke about, that you can start to repeat mentally, or you can even chant the sacred until you start to feel that I am peaceful, I am happy, I am here, I am now, I am being taken care of, I forgive myself, I forgive all others. My body is sacred, and it is to be used in service to myself and to others. I love my body. I love all parts of my body, and I send love to all parts of my body. I reserve an hour each day to be with myself and not worry about the past or the future, because this hour is now, and I will reserve time later on for planning and worrying about the past. I define for myself the following as objects of my meditation. It could be a sacred geometry. It could be a part of nature. It could be a picture or a painting. And I will meditate on this with all of my power at my command, using all of my senses, and create this reality within my heart. And then when you hold on to this, as I mentioned, called the Dharana, you start to decouple from the mind, from this external stimulus, as the body is now becoming more relaxed and energized, and the sensory functions of the mind are creating a sense of security and peace and power within themselves. And so we now start to begin to embark on the actual process of holding on to the pleasure object of meditation. And the process of holding on to the object of meditation can be understood by even holding on to prayer beads, a mala, because when we go through each of the 108 beads, we do spend some time with each of the beads, either by reciting a mantra or an affirmation, but we're spending some time within this cycle of the 108 beads. Similarly, in Dharana, we keep shifting our attention to different parts of our body or the object, and we try to cover the whole of the object. We spend time at each point trying to feel the sound, the touch, the form, the taste, even the fragrance that's associated with that particular part. And when all things are successfully known, then that part becomes a living presence within our mind. And when this happens, we move on to a neighboring region, repeating the process. And in this way, we slowly and gradually and methodically go over the object of our meditation. So in the process of holding on, called Dharana, the thoughts are definitely there, but they are not incoherent like normal thinking. There is a story, a continuous link, evolving from one frame to another, just like in a film, one thought to another. It's similar to even a book of cartoons where there are different frames, but there is one storyline. And so there's an experience linking one frame to another, leading the reader towards a complete evolution of the story. There is a concentration owing to the happiness that we find within each frame. It is not a concentration that we do not like. So the concentration is there because of the mood that we're creating, with the energy we're giving it in each frame. So for example, if we're looking at a pretty picture and we're concentrating on it, we may detect flashes of hidden laughter, compassion, grace, or anything that comes up. And all these experiences are blissful aspects within the self. And so this bliss doesn't merely consist of pleasure alone. It can also be a deep stirring or a fleeting emotion coming from various parts that exist within the self. Erotic parts, heroic parts, compassionate parts, even angry parts bursting into flames, arousing parts, laughing parts, joyous parts, senses of wonder parts, peaceful parts. These all exist within the self, the innerversity of self. And the process of holding on comes to a conclusion when we have satisfactorily gone over every detail of the object of our meditation. In this stage, even after our initial preparation stage of withdrawing from the external world, there could be some stimulus coming from the outside still, filtering into our consciousness, still disturbing our train of thought. It could be the telephone ringing, or a doorbell ringing, or somebody calling, or you having to get up to answer something. And this can create irritation. It could even be a discomfort in your body, some sort of a pain. That's why it's important to relax the body before the meditation. So depending upon the strength of the interference, we may even forget where we were in the meditation. And the best thing to do under such circumstances is to start from some approximately nearby region where we left off with in the first place. And so as we come close towards the end of this dharana, we have discovered that there is some particular spot, which is your rosary bead, where you would like to establish a particular mood and continue to spend time with that. This is the real essence of dharana. Remember that the mind has a tendency to move away from that place, like I spoke about the centrifugal force, but we're trying to bring it all back into focus. This centrifugal tendency is known as the Vishepa Shakti. And after a little while, the mind starts another thought, unrelated to this object. A time passes like this where we don't even remember that we're doing something else. And then, with a little effort, we bring the mind back to our particular object of meditation. And the stage of Dharana is thus characterized by initially having to evolve your story, finding a pleasure spot and then holding on to it. Even if the mind keeps straying, we bring the effort to really bring it back to center. And thus the effort is characteristic of this Dharana, which takes us into the next phase of flowing awareness, unbroken flowing awareness, like water flowing. And this is known as the Dhyana. Dhyana is a spontaneous concentration. The particular object of our meditation, chose by us in Dharana, is giving us a real experience that has now condensed around the object. The mind gets totally absorbed in the reality of its experience, that it then has now lost itself and the centrifugal force that's pushing it away. We are now living in the reality of the object of our meditation. You're deep diving into the picture or the piece of nature that you're looking at, and you start to experience it with your senses. And this unbroken awareness of Dhyana, condensed around the object of your meditation, is an easy flow of awareness, and a lack of effort is normally needed for this concentration. The object of meditation, as we know, is still different from us. It's still an object. We know everything about it. We know its thoughts as our thoughts. Yet, it is as if there is a mirror in front of us, and we are seeing ourselves reflected in the mirror as the object that we are viewing. And that this threefold division of the seer knows the seen as its own self. Yet he sees that as different from himself that an image is, if he still continues to be in this state of Dhyana for another 20 minutes or so, he can then enter the final stage of meditation, which is the union with self, called Samadhi. In Samadhi, the distinction between the observer and the observed simply vanishes. There is no separate object of meditation. There is only myself, the subject, who is the object. So, for example, if you're meditating upon a goddess, you simply become the goddess in this Samadhi state. And you start to exist in all beings as self. So I do exist in all beings, and all bodies are mine. All eyes, all hands, all feet, all skin, all senses, all experiences are my experiences. And this is the realization of all is self. There is no other in the universe apart from the self. And you have this internal unity, Samadhi happening, which is your true nature. And such an experience of Samadhi is not a null, it's not a void, it's actually fullness. It transcends all of life, all of space and time. It is solidified knowledge, action and desire. There is no movement in it. There is no birth or death or growth. Yet it is the sum total of all possible experiences of all life forms in all the worlds at all times. This complete Samadhi completes our appreciation of the different aspects of meditation. This can in later stages also lead you to open eye meditations, which can also be as valid as closed eye meditations. So there's a lot to take in, and I'm now going to take you into a very quick 5-minute meditation. And close your eyes, and I invite you to view your body as the entire universe of stars, trillions and trillions of stars, forming you as the entire galaxy, the galaxy being your entire body, because you are the universe. And as you move your body, all the stars and constellations and groups of stars are simply flowing and swaying and sweeping through the air. And even if you use your hands to point to something, all the tiny little stars stream forth in that direction along the certain pathway already created by your state of consciousness. You are simply a flowing universe of stars. And I invite you to allow this lightness of your beingness and the brightness of the stars to expand your thoughts, to expand your ideas, to expand what you're saying to yourself as your self-talk, to expand your visions, simply lighting them up so that you may see more of what is possible and available to you and to others within your environment. Allow this spaciousness to fill with a multitude of sparkly stars and expand again and again and again. Feel your movements as if you are water flowing. You're fluid, yet you are defined. Feel the tiny little stars flickering and sparkling and enlightening you as you go, and luminesce everywhere, as if you're leaving trails of stardust everywhere you flow. visualize these stars. They could be bright, they could be colored. They're just luminescing. They could even have scents. They could carry beautiful feelings. You create what you want to see in your universe. You can even dance in this meditation and use the lights within to just simply dance and flow in this meditation. As you move more and more into the light of who you are in your essence, as a starlight, a starbeam. And use this meditation as many times a day as you wish for a quick pick-me-up to lighten your load. You are the creator of your reality. You are the universe of your universe. All is self. And when you're ready, rub your hands together and cup them over your eyes. And say to yourself, all is well in my world. And gently flutter your eyes open. And return to this reality with a smile on your face. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.